Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Free to Founder. And I'm joined today by a really special guest, Mandeep Bhalla. First off, Mandy, thank you for joining us today, man. We've crossed paths, we've seen each other in person, and it's been a real goal of mine, just secretly, to have you on as a podcast guest. So I'm super
Thank
excited to
you.
talk.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it's my pleasure to have you, having me here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and for you and the guests and anyone that's watched before, we will have children, right? It's a family show. Kids are coming in and out. It's there, once school starts back up, we'll be good on that. But for today, but the good part of that is with kids here and starting with you, I love starting kind of at that childhood level because I think where you are today is a culmination of all the experiences, right?
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and dive right in. We're going to start at the beginning. Mandeep, you were born in Delhi, correct? And
Yes.
from my research, it looked like your father, he was in the aluminum fabrication business.
Yes. How did you know? Oh, you researched it pretty well.
I believe that if I'm going to have you on, I better darn well look up a couple of things. Can you tell us about that though? Because it's a totally different life and experience. I feel like coming from where you come from and grinding. So, was your dad an entrepreneur? I just wanted to get clarity on that, or tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you mentioned, I am from Delhi, India, capital of India, Delhi. Born and raised there. I have been raised by my grandparents, my dad, and he was into doors and windows business, which is aluminum fabrication, door windows. And back in there, I when I was like 8 year old, 9 year old, I used to go out with my dad to help him with these doors and windows projects. And I think that journey started from there, like grinding from day one with my dad and my grandmother. Sometimes we used to go out as well and knock out those projects. And it was good, seeing installers, technicians, dealing with a lot of stuff. And when I was just 8, 9, 10, and yes, that was my grind. And then I was in IT for a decade back in India. And then I started, I think some spark was there that I thought, I have to do something. I think the inner voice was coming that I have to do something bigger. I have a bigger purpose, but I was not able to connect the dots. What is it? And then, I started my content writing agency back in India. Had 45 plus writers from US, India, Australia, and clients across the globe. And I think we did three or yeah 3 million something back there with the content writing agency. And then I decided to move to the States because of my wife. She got the opportunity to work with a bank in Buffalo, New York. And I said, yes, I gotta, we gotta go, and I'm gonna follow you. I didn't have work visa at that time, and thanks to Obama at that time, one visa came out and everything worked out, and I joined one marketing agency, and that marketing agency was my client for content. And I joined as director of SEO there, and I was there in Buffalo, New York for 5 years. Traveled across the country, met contractors. They were into just HVAC, heating and cooling companies, and I think I became national speaker for manufacturer. And then we moved to Tampa. I'm in Tampa right now, and I think back in 2020, which is leap year, uh, COVID times, pandemic or plandemic, whatever it was, that was something back in 2020.
It really was.
And
Yeah.
yeah, right, Feb 29th, leap year, I decided to leave everything when it comes to my job. And I left everything on the table and decided to go with Grow Nearby, my agency, full time, all in. And I never looked back. And I think God is great. I've got 45 plus team members at Grow Nearby, and launched another company, Grow Reviews. Launched my podcast 2 years ago, Born for the Trades, a home service podcast. And now, officially, last week, we got listed on Inc. 5000, one of the fastest private company, companies in America, and I think I'm blessed. And I feel so great. Like, I think just putting in the work every single day, and I think uh, it's all about soft skills. Hard skills are there in the industry, in any industry, but empathy, positivity, I think that's rare, and that's what I deploy. My team, they deploy every single day, and then magic happens. And obviously, it's not like right like this, like climbing to the top. Obviously, there are like some shaky moments, challenges out there, but yeah, I think we all have seen like resilience in us, and here we are. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and that's a really good recap of the whole story. I want to start diving into a few of those because there's some common
Sure.
threads. I want to go back to your days, like you were saying, 8, 9, 10-year-old in India, right? Doing installs, doing the work with your father.
Hmm.
And obviously, I feel like here in the US, kids going out, it's great to be and, learn, go to work with dad day, but I don't know how many are actually doing, the work and the installs. Instead, it's like go to school and be a kid. So can you just paint that picture a little clearer for us? What was that like, and what lessons did you really take away from, doing that with your father?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a very deep question.
That's why we're
So
here.
yeah, I didn't have like fancy childhood. It was challenging,
Mm,
and my parents, they got divorced when I was 1 year old,
mm,
and then my dad, like, I think he was in love with his wife. I don't call her my mom because I'm raised by my grandparents, and I call his wife. So yeah, by the way, he's no more. He died in 2017.
mm.
And
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, yeah, he was I think deeply in love with her. And when they got divorced, and then I think, yeah, he became alcoholic. He was so good with the with the sales, with the deals, and let's say, like, any aluminum fabrication door windows project, and he got it on day one, and then he is not there on the second day. He's, yeah, out. And my grandmom and I, we used to go out and coordinate with the vendors and technician installers and get the project done. It was tough. It was tough. I'm being raw and real here. I I don't have any problem to share that. And this is,
Mm,
I think those challenges, I think those moments, I've learned a lot, that you have to stay positive even the environment is pretty negative. I loved him when he was like sober, but he was something different. He was amazing person. He was amazing person,
mm,
but then when he used to drink, and it was totally different personality, and learned a lot to stay calm, negative in those situations for many years, and learned how the business is done, how to manage cash flow, how to take care of your employees. Again, empathy played a big role, and learned a lot of lessons, I would say. I think that was the part that I connect the dots now. After that, I went to ID, and then I served for a decade there, started my content writing agency back in India, and got US clients, moved to the US, and I served that, like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, let's stop there too, because you kind of glaze over that you built a $3 million content agency from India, right? Coming out of that situation, selling to U.S. clients. Well, so digging in that, and I just have to note, you mentioned it a couple times. It's something that I wanted to mention too. Like, Mandeep, every time I've ever seen you, every time I've ever interacted with you, you said positive. Really, that is the image that I've always had of you. I see this smile. How are you? It's something that you don't, I think, see enough in today's society, but it really does define you. And it's really interesting to me hearing, just a little bit about your childhood and the kind of the ups and downs you've had to go through and how you still persist even today to put that image off. So that to me is fascinating. And then what made you then realize, like, when you heard that higher calling after, grinding, learning cash flow and employees as a kid, to take that leap and start with content marketing? What was appealing to that? How'd you fall into that?
Into content writing.
Yeah, your first content agency that you mentioned that you grew and then found US clients. How did that come about? How'd you get your first client?
That's a good question. So, I in 2012 or 2012, I think I went to mountains in it's called Himalayas. Have you heard about
Oh
Himalayas?
my gosh, of course.
Right?
Himalayas, of course.
Yes. Yes,
Tibetan,
I went.
yeah.
I went there with my wife, and we just got married, and I was carrying my laptop there. I don't know, some thought came in there, and I opened my laptop. I was connected to internet, and I was thinking, like, I think I can do something because I was writing a couple of articles for one SEO agency. And every week I used to write a couple of articles because I had my job. And I was like, what if I can have writers and I can start giving content to these SEO companies or any company. And then I came up with, like, one idea to actually have company registered, Swift Minds, that was the name. And first step I didn't look at the internet, I didn't look at any content material or any kind of like course. I just started sending emails from my personal Gmail to
Really?
the companies in the US. Like, I was searching 2011, and I was searching what are the SEO companies in Miami? What are the SEO companies in New York City? Like, I got that list, literally went to their website and filled out the forms. If the email was there, I grabbed it and I sent that we have, a lot of writers expertise, and we can provide you content. And I had just only one writer, and I got, like, one reply back. And that I still remember, that lady said, like, can you write 1,000 articles of I think 500 words. I thought she's saying maybe, like, 100 articles, maybe 1,000 is, like,
Extra
must
zero
must
on
be
accident? Yeah.
accidentally, she said. And she said, no, it's 1,000 articles, can you do that? I was like, oh my god, that's the opportunity right there. And what should I say? I said, like, yes, we have team. I had to say that. I'm being honest here because I didn't want to lose that opportunity. And I said, yes, we do have writers and we can give you 1,000 articles. And she said, yeah, let's do it. And we signed the contract. And then after that, I was wondering, like, I said yes. Now, what should I do now? And then I was like, not sleeping for many days, and I was sending emails to freelancers, and finally got someone from different country at that time to produce 1,000 articles. And that person didn't even ask for the payment. He said that once the order is completed, delivered, then I can pay. Then I delivered to the client, I got paid, and then I paid him. And then I started hiring people in India and different countries, like, writers with us. So that's the journey started. When it comes to content writing agency, and then I thought, okay, content is great. Like, what others? Why they need this content for SEO? What is SEO? Then I started learning about SEO. What is Google Ads? And then Facebook ads. Facebook ads was not that popular at that time. And then I wanted to get into digital marketing, and that's how I reached out to, my client in the US, that I want to be part of your company. And that's how I joined director of SEO. And then I was serving contractors. And then after 5 years, I realized something is bigger for sure. And then I connect the dots that contracting thing is in my DNA. I have to serve contractors better. And I quit that job, went all in, and started my business. And we go above and beyond for contractors. Like, there is no fluff, like, real connection, real work that we are doing. And yes, there are challenges, but yeah, we just make it happen. So I'm grateful.
Wow, wow. Well, it again. I some of my fun, and you may, as I may have told you, maybe not. So my master's degree in my, direction. I did study child psych and counseling. I thought I'd be a school counselor, like and working with kids, because similar to you, I had somewhat of a interesting childhood, and you know. the threads of how it comes to be and how everything connects. I can't remember how I was going personally with me, but for you, in your DNA, you putting in doors and working on that. Then you switch to content, and then you combined them both to bring the best of both worlds, to really deliver for your client. Obviously, it's showing, right? And again, we'll get to the success today because I really want to hear about that and wisdom you can impart from being part of the Fortune 500 top or Inc. 500 list. I got it in my notes. I just got to scroll down to
Yeah, Inc. 5000. Yeah.
Inc. 5000, correct. Did you ever think as a kid in India when you had that realization, though, that you one day would be able to say that you'd be on a list of fastest growing companies?
Not back like, when I was like kid, 10, 12, or yeah. I think I realized when I was in college, I used to see Forbes, right? I just knew about Forbes magazine, right? And that was something in my mind that I really want to be on that list, which is close to Inc. I think that's pretty much the same. And after like, college and then, getting into IT, it was back in my mind that yes, gotta do something so that I can be on that list. And but yeah, dream come true. It's yeah, I think I'm living American dream. That's what people call it here, right? And I think that's the example with God's grace, nothing without Him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that brings one other question, a small one. And obviously powers above, but in the human realm, who did you look up to for inspiration? Do you remember ever seeing in one of those magazines somebody that you'd always read about or dream about or try to learn from?
That's a great question. So right now, like on my wall, I have Gary Vee. Do you know Gary Vee? Gary,
Oh,
I'm sure.
how could you not? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think back in 2015 when we moved here to the stateside on Valentine's Day, and I think after a couple of months, I started seeing Gary Vee's content on my feed, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere. And I think this guy has been my inspiration, like from day one, and I think I was fueling myself with a lot of his content day and night, podcasts with Gary Vee, audio experience, and I was like fired up like every single day. And finally, I think I was Feb again 2020. I was riding bike and near Tampa, one of the ponds. I think I stopped there, and he said that flip the coin, just flip the coin, and if it's like tails, go all in. And luckily I had coin in my pocket and I flipped it, and it was tails. And I decided I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna go all in. But it was not my emotional decision. I had actually launched, registered my company, but it was not doing anything, and I was building something over the night, not conflicting with my job, but I was building something, restaurants in Tampa, like all my friends' network, helping them. I was building some MRR, right? Monthly recurring revenue. And I was close to my salary or I was beating my salary. And then I told my wife, shall I go all in? She said, yeah, why not? She has full-time job if anything happens. I had my Uber license with me, and I did Ubering, I think back in Buffalo, New York for 2 weeks, and I still remember I made $1,400, and I was like, I was like, what? I was like, what? If anything happens, yes, I don't want to join back. I don't want to go with the job again. But if anything happens, yes, Uber. My wife, she has a full-time job. That was it. But it was all leap of faith, and I went all in. And guess what? After I think exactly after 3 years, I met Gary Vee on Zoom because of the NFTs network, and I was the first one. I was asking him about Chat GPT at that time, and that's the first video on his YouTube as well. And then I met him in person same year as well at his VCon event. I shared my story, and I was like, wow, the inspiration. He's in front of me, and yeah, that was again my one of my dreams that come true because he's something for
Wow.
me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine, again, just putting myself in your shoes, coming to the US again, and then taking the leap of just jumping in like you did. I love the detail of you actually drove for Uber. You probably should take that receipt and put it, somewhere online and circle it, of,
Maybe I can find it like from Uber app. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is the path that could have been, but the leap of faith. And then, tying with the American dream, and then actually getting to meet Gary Vee and being a part of the early moments of asking, wow, man, what a story. Truly. And you also said something else in there. You said you were building something overnight. And I found a quote from you. And I can assume this is attributed to you. You said something the likes of passion is what happens between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Wow.
Do you recall that?
Yeah, absolutely. You did amazing research and you just gave me goosebumps. And yeah, and I was about to actually, write one book about it, but I didn't want to because this is something like from Gary Vee, and he used to mention that magic happens between 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. If you have a full-time job, respect that. Like, 9 to 5, you gotta do that. But who is stopping you to do more and grind in the nighttime? I think magic happens in the nighttime, and our grandfathers didn't have this, like, opportunity to work on the laptop and devices. Now we have, like, if you are passionate about anything, about, like, cooking or tennis, you can find your passion, and you can convert into something big for you. And I think I was starting, like, my nights from 7 p.m., sometimes 9 p.m., but that was my window, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Grinded like anything, sent emails, hired people, worked with them, and sometimes it was like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. was there too. uh,
Wow.
but build something like, this amazing Grow Nearby brand during those nights. I think for 3 4 years to beat my salary. It was not emotional decision, it was practical decision to quit my job, because now I know this is gonna work. If I made it happen between 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., imagine what I can do if I'm full time, and then I can take it to the next level. And that's exactly what I did. And for the listeners, those who are listening and they're still thinking that they have something that they can actually do pretty well with, that experiment with it, and just work on your idea, your hustle grind during that time. If you have kids, I understand. Maybe you can start at 9:30 p.m. and just do it for 2 hours. I'm not recommending 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Just take care of your health. Sleep is definitely required, 7 to 8 hours. But I'm different animal here. Like, I sleep 4 or 5 hours. I should be 6 to 7. But yes, if you have any passion, and if you don't want to regret when you are 70, 80, 90-year old, go for it. Give it a shot. One life.
Wow. Yeah. No, you definitely, even in myself, I think I'm going to be getting back on the night schedule just hearing you say that. But I think that's just really powerful. Yeah, for anybody, because it is a function of time. It's execution and bringing those things so you can test it. And
Yeah.
it's going to stick with me, Mandeep, because, again, early on, you're saying you just started sending emails in your own personal email. You just, took chances, and that's kind of what got you your break
Yeah.
with that time, right?
Right.
And then you mentioned it again, even in the late, you're sending emails and rocking on. To me, that just shows it's an indicator of grit, right? And I think for anyone else, as you said, watching that grittiness, that ability just to give it a chance, it really
Yeah.
can make the difference. So, I mean, and as we progress here in your timeline, Mandeep, to my research, and it may be more now, but you're Grow Nearby, approximately 75 to 80 clients. Is it a lot more than that now?
Yeah, close to 100 now.
Okay, yeah. And Carrie, like, what's your retention rate typically? Because I know a lot of home services, right? It's in and out. It can be.
Yeah, great question. And I'll be honest here, like, we have been always like striving for 95%. And, but in 2025, Feb, March, April, May, those 3 4 months, we had 85% retention rate, but now it has come back to 95 again. Yeah.
And what would you attribute to that? Because still, like 85 is still for a lot of agencies. Like I would love to have that, right? And let alone 95%. So what are the special, unique things that you guys have instituted, that you would attribute to that type of retention rate?
That's a great question, Brett. So what we were seeing is like, a lot of changes were happening with AI. And a lot of agencies came up with ideas that they are doing a lot of stuff, a lot of initiatives, but it was just like fancy. It was like, I think shiny object syndrome. And clients wanted to actually experience by leaving us and joining others. And actually AI visibility, AI overview, to rank in AI overview, chat GPT or other LLMs, basically it's the foundation, right? You got to have FAQs, voice search optimization, schema markup, a lot of technical stuff. And that's something we have been doing it, but we realized that we got to learn AEO aggressively. That's something we implemented. Reddit strategy we implemented because Google and Reddit had $60 million deal. Now for every key phrase, it shows up. Reddit shows up on Google. We did that. A lot of operational changes to match with AEO results and KPIs. A lot of stuff on the operational side and sales. I had to create everything from scratch, and now we have like solid sales team, and I have my executive assistant, like great help. I sleep on time, and she knocks out like everything, and it was a good decision to have her, like, here in Tampa. And I think I would say a lot of stuff. And this month, last month, we have seen 5 ex-customers came back to us. They said, Mandeep,
Really?
that was, yes. And I got goosebumps, right? I was talking to them. I was like, it's okay. You wanted to try something different. That's like, we are human beings, and we gotta try, and we are business person, and we gotta try something. And they came back and they said, like, Mandy, please take us back. And I was, yeah, it's hard for me to say no. If we don't have any client in their area, yes, I'm open. But if we have someone, like, we don't want to work with their competitors, right? We have that exclusivity. And so 5 customers came back, and now we're back to 95% retention rate. But a lot of operational and sales changes and technology wise, we have made massive changes in the company SOPs.
The SOPs make a difference. Yeah, they make a difference tremendously. And well, so the technical side, the SOP, the written side, and makes sense that that would all contribute to a high retention rate. But there's the other side, and this is where I kind of wanted to zoom back into the positive outlook that I think you just radiate, frankly. And so talk to me a little bit about the importance for you in the customer relationship side, right? You're known for going to actually visit clients. That's
Yeah.
something in an interview that I'd seen. I know you go to a lot of events. I see your content. In fact, that's how we kind of reconnected. As I started seeing your content, and then that's cool. Oh, you know what? We got to talk. So
Yeah.
that personable side, that positivity side, and connecting, and actually flying to see them. What does that mean to you, and what does that do? You think to a business?
Yeah, that's amazing. By the way, like, you're giving me goosebumps. Thank you. Yeah.
No, man. Likewise, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's great, great. Yeah, great questions.
Mm.
And I think positivity is in my DNA. And that's what I think I have been looking at, I think, since childhood. A lot of negative situations, and I stayed positive and things happened. But it was a rough phase for many, many years. But I would say after marriage, after getting married to my, beautiful wife, I think things have changed, when it comes to like career growth. And then, when we had like kids, I think it's a blessing. But positivity, coming back to positivity, what I thought, like, everyone is doing business, like, it's all about numbers, numbers game. Like, okay, soft skills are missing, empathy is missing, positivity is not there. Gotta show up at 9 and leave, people leave at 5. So I was thinking, like, if people, those who are sad on Sunday night, that they gotta work on Monday morning, then then I think something is off, right? You gotta build something amazing so that all your team members, they are fired up to work, on Monday, right? Doesn't matter. Then the days don't matter. And I was like, we gotta do something where I think it gives me happiness by going above and beyond. We go above and beyond for our team. Same, we go above and beyond for our clients. And
Mm.
we thought to visit our clients once a month. I know I have to sacrifice my family time, and I have to go, like, as a CEO with the video person, Matthew, and CSM, flights, hotel, car rental, and basically time is everything, right? But I was like, it's gonna be worth it, Mandeep. Let's do it. And when I started going, and the happiness that I see in myself and on other faces, right? That they came all the way from Florida to do the media day, photo shoot, video shoot. Like, who does that? And no one is actually, to be very honest, I have not seen that.
I,
People might be there. I have not seen that,
mm-mm,
right?
mm-mm.
And we have been doing consistently every month. I took 4 months break, media day for them, so that we can use those assets on website and social media. But the major thing I think people don't understand, I think they still say there must be something, some like dollar amount, like why Mandeep is doing that. To be very honest, it's my thing that is coming from my heart. It's all about relationships, and there are clients, those who have left. Even I have done the media day, they have moved on. But, like, should I be sad about it? No. Like, I'm still grateful for all the relationships that I had and I have. And actually, that gives me, like, good feeling from inside and positivity, and putting out the content out there. And at the end of the day, relationships. I would say relationships go long way, Brett.
Yeah, I agree. And what I find fascinating as well, right? I'll ask questions like that, and of course, it makes sense intuitively. Well, relationships with customers, referrals, keeping them long term. But you started your answer, Mandeep, more about your team, right? And so many
Yeah.
CEOs, team is indispensable. You SOP it, and I could pull them in, pull them out. But
Yeah.
for you, just the fact that you started talking about, I don't want somebody to have to dread getting up and going to work on Monday. That to me says so much, right? And like, and you've had to scale a team. You have to bring a lot of people on as you've
Yeah.
grown and continue to grow. So
Right.
how, like, what is that culture like? And how do you keep that culture going forward? How do you like? Because I heard something from Hermosi, who
Yeah.
obviously is big today. Past what 3 levels, you can't control your culture. And you have to really trust those people in. So how do you do that? How do you keep that culture strong?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think our it goes back to, like, our core values. We were defining our core values when we had EOS implementation,
Well,
and
is
yeah,
it empathy and positivity and relationship building? Are those the three that,
yes,
those are the
yes,
three
those,
that I saw that, yeah, that's okay. Well, expand
yes,
on that. Yeah.
yeah, empathy, positivity. I would say I'll start with, like, empathy. And when I started Grow Nearby, I used to have one-on-one with my team members. They were just 4 or 5, but I used to spend a lot of time, not just like talking about like work all the time. I wanted to have that connection at deeper level so that I know them personally too. If something is going on, and I think they still share with me, they used to open up and share what's going on in their life. And having empathy is the biggest thing. I would say that's the superpower, that people can understand you, I can understand others, and if their empathy level is like great, they can also understand me. But it's rare where two-way things happen, but I had to give my best on the empathy side. And I think that's what I think we look for, that have empathy within the team. Fancy meetings, where a lot of people are there, those are great, but spend more time with your team members individually, one-on-one. And positivity, I think we were looking at the list that a lot of people got fired or quit because they could not survive high radiate, whatever you want to call, highly positive environment. And when any toxic person or negative person comes into this environment, they cannot survive. They can't believe it, right? What? Every day this company or this team, this person can, how can be they positive like that? And I think there are like 50, 60 people during 5 or 5.5 years that actually, yeah, listed, like filtered, and now we have the best 45 people on the planet. And I think extreme positive environment with empathy that filters out the negative toxic people. But again, there were great lessons. And yeah, but it drives. I think if you compliment someone, if you give shout outs, and I think it's required, people are doing their job, but if you just like praise them and empower them, elevate them, and achieve their goals as well, make sure that you're not just focusing on achieving your goals. You want to go 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. I want to have, like, my Lamborghini or G wagon, whatever is there. Ask your employees too what they want. It feels so great to see my direct client of director of client success manager. She started her journey from scratch, microbiology, and now she knows in and out about digital marketing. That's massive. And she got her car, dream car. She got her house, and some other team members, they have done that. It makes me feel so good achieving their dreams. And if you just ask them and achieve their goals, they can do anything for you.
Wow. The image that comes to mind, and maybe I'll have to put this GIF up on the edit, is Jordan Belfort. That speech. You ever watch Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah,
Yeah, we got you your kid through daycare. Obviously not that culture, but
yeah.
it's amazing. And they still with you today? Those
Who?
members that achieve their dreams. The example, I can't remember the name you
Yes,
said.
they are high. They are high performers, high achievers with me. Yeah,
Wow, wow,
they
wow.
are.
That's incredible, man. And I think the empathy, that word, right? Positivity, but it completes the feedback loop of positivity when you can have empathy, and removing and keeping out that toxic part of it just keeps that thing spinning.
Yeah.
I mean, just from an outsider's perspective, I gotta say, I can
Hmm.
only imagine that's probably a big, big part of the success you've had is bringing that, keeping that, and bringing team members that hit that. But let me put it in your words. And what we're gonna do is transition a little bit here, Mandeep, to
Yeah.
taking where you're at, just on steroids, on a rocket ship, driving ahead. If you could distill down the secrets of success to anyone listening to this, of what they could do to mimic it, what would you say? If you could boil down in a 30-second, what would be your secret sauce? What's been the key ingredients?
Yeah, that's great. I would say, like, when you wake up in the morning, right? And if you can look at, like, mirror, and just say that you are the best. You are the best, and make sure that you love yourself first. If you can't love yourself, then how can you love others? I think everything starts from you. You gotta love yourself. And the second thing is, like, positive. Stay positive, and deploy empathy if you can, right? If you can deploy empathy by understanding others, I think that's going to be game changer. And I would say put in the work every single day, no matter what. And if you think that you can achieve like success overnight or maybe in a month, 2 months, you're wrong. No, it requires, yeah, a lot of, like, hard work, grit, but you have to put in the work every single day. Yes, you will face challenges. I faced it too. I was like, no, I can't put, like, content out there. And I was authentic. A lot of people told me that, I know challenges are going in, Mandeep, you should still put out content. But I was not feeling it last year. I was not feeling it from inside to fake it, right? And I was like, whatever comes in my mind, right, while taking shower or driving or eating, I share it on social media right away, because this comes like from the moment. And my team, my family, they were saying, like, at least I should schedule. I'm still not scheduling my content. Whatever comes in my mind, I put it out there. Energy was missing, and I could not fake it. And I'm okay with that, because I was being authentic, that I was quiet for some time. So put in the work every single day, no matter what, and keep grinding and make sure you understand other people. And that's empathy and drive with positivity. And we always joke about like, what drives us? Like, we are fueled by caffeine, positivity, empathy. Yeah.
That'll do it too. Yeah, fueled by caffeine. Well, where's my coffee? To that, I want
Yeah, mine is over
on
too.
here, right? Well,
Mhm.
I guess in that same vein, there's a really similar question, Mandeep, but you may have the same answer, it may be different. As
Sure.
entrepreneurs and as founders, the good times are great. That's what keeps us coming back. But there are times where you go in a hole, you think there's no way out, you think you're going to be on the street. We have hard times going through this. And we talked about
Yeah.
positivity, right? And all the facets of that. But if there's somebody out there right now watching, right? And maybe they're feeling, man, he's had this success and he's driven through and I just can't do it. I can't get through. What would you tell them? What would be your advice that they should focus on in those hard
Yeah,
times?
yeah, great questions. And yeah, I am the example here. We saw like those challenges, we faced it, and I think it's very important, especially for the company owner. Uh, if you are the owner, you are the CEO, you are driving the company, and you are seeing some major challenges or adversity, I would say just keep your morale, keep your head high, and make sure you bring positivity and don't get frustrated. There are times, yeah, even I get frustrated. You just gotta stay calm and think through it, and I think you will see the answers. Actually, whatever is happening is to make you good for the long term. That's what I have seen. If those challenges were not there, we would not have this success, right? So gotta stay calm in those situations and have A players, leadership on your team that can actually support you. Entrepreneurship is lonely game. And yes, you will have like, payroll headaches or lot of things. And yeah, you might cry in the nighttime. You don't want to show it to the world. It happens, right? And they say, right, men are strong, they don't cry. Like, yeah, emotions are there. Especially entrepreneurship is an emotional journey. And when I got like this news, Inc. 5000, yes, I had tears in my eyes, like what we have seen and what we have got this year. So I think it's stay calm in those situations and pivot. Try to pivot. We tried many times pivoting, and yes, we are on the verge of taking it to the next level. But you can't do it alone. You gotta have maybe two, three, or maybe one A player that can actually support you and take care of you, right? You gotta have that person.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. I can't help but ask too, because you said you've been there and as an entrepreneur, what was the toughest point in your entrepreneurial career where you thought you were like, oh boy, and curious what the lesson you did learn from that that's lasted to today.
Yeah, yeah, another great question, man. So I think a lot of people again they think about like numbers. Oh, the this is our MRR is declining. What we gotta do? Uh, I think a lot of companies they might think like, okay, let's cut the team and let's find out solutions. So I was worried about only one thing. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about the MRR. I was caring about the team. What if we keep declining, I'm gonna lose my best team players. And that was something like, I was worried and I'm always like, worried. I want to I can take less salary at home and I did that. I cut my salary to some point where, yeah, if I can survive, that's great, but I gotta take care of my employees and I did that. And I think what I realized that yes, I think it's all your like team, clients, and keep doing the work every single day. The time will always like phase out. You will definitely see good times, and just keep putting in the work every single day. It's very tough. It's very tough to actually operate when you see things are not going well, and then again coming back to positivity and putting out positivity and putting in the work every single day. Yeah, yeah, I would say.
Wow. All right. And from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., you have that option too to keep putting in that work. Well, all right.
Exactly.
So, well, here's what I'd like to do then next, Mandeep. And all of this is just bombs, and not in the way of like, here's a secret hack and a trick. These are all just wisdom bombs of someone who's been there, done it, and is getting closer to the truth, I think, than a lot of others I've even heard. The love part, the empathy part, the human side. And of course, look, we're going to have to hop on one day and talk AI and where that all plays with your IT
Yeah,
background and with your marketing and everything.
yeah,
But
absolutely. Anytime. Yeah.
oh yeah, that would be a fun that we'll have to make time for. But I want to switch to the end of the segment here, the last segment, Mandeep. And what I want to do, I want to ask you some quick fire questions, and we just want to see kind of what comes out of this. Yeah, just about you, right? So first question is this. I've asked this to other guests, right? But I believe everybody is born with some sort of superpower that they have a 10 out of 10 skill, that it is easy for them and they can't figure out why no one else can do it as well. For you,
Yeah.
Mandeep, what have you found to be your absolute superpower?
Superpower. I would say same. My answer is gonna you will see like pretty much similar. Positivity. I think that's superpower.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. I think listening to the stories and how that applies, I think you are correct. I think that is verified. Well, okay, let me ask you this then. In your career, and we all have, again, the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, and we all have to look up
Yeah.
people. You mentioned Gary Vee and maybe others. What's the absolute best advice you've ever received?
Best advice. I would say that never praise your team in public and give them like feedback, critique like in person. I think that was great because I was very genuine and authentic, but I gotta take care of like team. Sometimes people can get hurt, and because it's genuine, whatever comes, it comes out like from me. But I gotta take care of like people in public. So I think that was the good advice, where just like praise people in public and give feedback, critique in person. That was good.
Who gave you that advice, or can you even remember? Was it just the general
I
over the
I
years?
think I think in general one of the reels maybe I saw. Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah, spread of information in today. Okay, well, next question. What book has made the biggest impact on your life? If you're a reader, if not a reader, we can adjust that. But what book have you read that made the biggest impact in your life?
Great. Yeah, I never like, read any book until like my wife, she introduced me to The Secret, and it's all about manifestation back when we were dating. And then she gave me that book that changed my life. And that's how I actually thought about, attracting and starting content writing business back in India. So I would say, yeah, that book was the game changer. I never read any other books in my life. That was the first one in 2011 or 10.
Wow. Do you still practice it too? What they teach in it?
Yes, I think it's now inside me. That manifestation is deployed. What you have to do is, let's say, Brett, like you want to be the best, I would say, top like sellers, like, on Amazon, right? I'm talking about the book, right? You just imagine that it's done, that you are the best seller on Amazon. You have to keep in your mind and heart, and you have to feel it, that okay, I have got this Inc. 5000 award already, though I'm not there, right? I have not applied even. You gotta feel that, and you have to feel so deeply, and that's the manifestation. I think one of the works, it's gonna work. Yeah.
Awesome. You know what? You reminded me too. That's one I've read several iterations. I tried to watch or read The Secret as in college. It just didn't hit with me. But over
Yeah.
time, right? Because I'm more the engineering minded, logical, stay grounded. Oh, come on. But the
Yeah.
longer I go on, man, the more I can't help, I've done that and I'm like, whoa, that really does work. So, boy, I'm taking a lot away from this myself, and I can't wait to dive on that. Well, next quick fire question: if you were to write a book today, what would your book title be, and what would the book be about?
Yeah, that's that's again great question, and I'm still deciding on the topic, but I really want to launch, one book for home service industry on the marketing. And to be very honest, like I'm still brainstorming on that piece, but it's gonna be for home service industry and marketing. Yeah.
Got it. Well, I'll be thinking of something for you then, because I'd be
If
curious.
you have ideas, please
I would
feel free
love
to.
to. Yeah. Well, just I always find in these things too, you uncover the past, you uncover the skills, you uncover the insights, right? So I will think on that, because I think, yeah, I would read a book from you, Mandeep. Well,
Okay,
a
awesome.
couple more questions. Yep. And this one, what is your definition of success? Very simple question, but it's actually not so simple always. How would you define what success is in this life?
Great. I would say you have to feel like, happy from inside. Uh, and I think if you are not like, calm, and if you are just like, restless, looking at shiny object syndrome, you gotta have like happiness and calmness inside, though you have achieved a lot. And waking up in the morning and seeing your loved ones, they are good, and they are with good health. I think that's the success. And you are mentally stable, good, your mental health is great, you are fit, fine, your family is there, your loved ones are there. Yeah, I think that's the success. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
really
want to
surprised.
connect with the numbers or dollar amount. I think again happiness, like just be happy even things are not going even. Yeah, I find like happiness in like small things, like people do it for me or I see it. I think that makes me excited. And as a Gemini, I'm a Gemini in zodiac sign. It's like crazy, but
Well, no, I'm also a Gemini. So June
Gemini,
6th. Yep,
June 6th,
June 6th is my birthday. When's yours?
June 5th.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, my
June
wife.
5th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait, what do you find on that? Tell me your person, like what's true about being a Gemini? Because I have some of, uh, like my wife's like, man, new
Yeah.
person every day is part of the thing at times, right? Where I'm
Same
like,
here.
when did this
Same here. My
really?
wife's it's tough to understand a Gemini,
Yeah.
and we have twin personalities, and we are different in another 5 minutes. Like we're different animal in 5 minutes. Like every day we are different, unique, and it's hard to understand. But yes, we deeply care, we deeply love, and yeah, again, we are something with twin personalities, I would say. Yeah.
We are something, that's for darn sure. That's what my wife would say. Yeah, that's funny, man, that you're a Gemini. Curious too, what's your Myers-Briggs? Do you know that one?
Myers breaks,
Yeah, like INTJ. Are you into any of that
like
testing?
16 personalities and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I did that. I don't know. Maybe I was like commander, or
Ah,
I.
okay.
I'll have to look at that again. Yeah, my wife was asking to.
Was
Yeah.
she? Okay, yeah. Well, no, that is funny. Just yeah, that one I've seen quite a bit and has been ingrained. But
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. I
yeah,
want to add one thing. I know we have got 1 minute because I'm jumping on another podcast, Brett.
awesome.
Make sure. I think a lot of people they think that okay, this is crazy what Mandeep is talking about. Make sure that you have your zodiac signs for your family, your wife, your kids. It will play a big role how a Gemini can adapt. My wife is Taurian. What things we need to look at it, and how to make that relationship work. Same with the employees. I'm not saying the entire company, at least your A players that you interact every single day. My director of operations, like she's Leo. I just look at it, the combination, how to make it work, and it works. It works. So
Whoa.
it's amazing to do the compatibility with your family, with your team members, or your friends. so that, yeah, you can balance and make it happen. Don't want to lose that person, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I will definitely do that. Well, Mandeep, look, I really appreciate you coming on, truly sharing the knowledge. And I know we got to get you to this next podcast. Once again, thanks for watching too. And Mandeep, if they do want to contact you, they can look up your Facebook. We'll put it below once we launch.
Yeah, absolutely. Mandeep Bhalla, or my email address, mandeep@grownearby.com. And I'll give you my Facebook link. And yeah, feel free to reach out if you need any help. I'm here.
Well, thanks again. And remember, well, everything today, stay happy. And thanks to Mandeep. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad, for inviting me. Amazing.
Always. Yep. Talk soon.